I got this question on my Instagram the other day. Is there any way to add fat other than half and half on the steak and eggs diet? I'm burning around 1,000 to 1,300 calories a day through exercise, and my energy is low. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to dairy, so I can't do half and half. My protein is at 120 grams, which is my lean weight, so I'm trying to add some fat. All right, first of all, let me say that the strict steak and eggs diet, which later became the max definition diet or the meat, eggs, and water diet, is just eating meat, eggs, and 1 or 2 leafy salads a day for fiber. Okay, and the way that worked was if you're hungry, lack energy, whatever, just eat more meat and eat more eggs. Okay, so when I add in like half and half or heavy cream to the diet, that's like a variation. Okay, that's not the strict steak and eggs diet. So how do you do that? Okay, I don't know in particular what kind of an allergy this person has exactly. Okay, but there are several different ways to add fat into a diet. Okay, for instance, I don't know if your dairy allergy keeps you from eating butter. Okay, if you are capable of eating butter, you can try something that's called bulletproof coffee. It should be familiar to most people. What it basically is it's 1 to 2 cups of coffee with 1 to 2 tablespoons each of either MCT, medium chain triglyceride oil, or coconut oil, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, now that will basically give you like 230 to 460 calories. Almost all of it is fat. Okay, so like I said, I don't know if your dairy allergy prevents you from eating butter. I know it comes from cows. Okay, but that's something that a person could do to add basically pure fat into their diet. Okay, there are other ways to do it. Oils are basically pure fat. Okay, for instance, 1 tablespoon of olive oil is 120 calories, 14 grams of fat, 0 grams of carbs and protein. So and so is coconut oil. Okay, 1 tablespoon is 120 calories, 14 grams of fat, 0 carbs, 0 protein. So you know, those are 2 ways to do it. How do you do that? You know, you don't really use protein powders or things like that when you're on like a ketogenic diet, because they usually have a lot of carbs in them, and you usually concentrate on real food. But I've heard about people, for instance, putting oils like olive oil or flax oil in their protein drinks. And I've even heard about people literally just doing shots of olive oil, like just, you know, pouring olive oil into a shot glass or, you know, a measuring spoon and just shooting, you know, a tablespoon of that. That's a way that you could go ahead and do that. Okay, coconut oil, like I said, whether you can use butter or not to make, you know, real bulletproof coffee, there's nothing saying that you can't put coconut oil into your coffee or your tea or whatever. You usually use a blender for it. Okay, and like I said, it basically just adds fat to the meal, pure fat, and, you know, increases your calories. There are also other ways to do it, okay, but you have to be careful. Now, 1 ounce of peanuts, okay, and I've been eating several ounces of peanuts a day lately. Okay, 1 ounce of peanuts is 160 calories, 14 grams of fat. However, it's dangerous because it also has 7 grams of protein, which is not a bad thing. It also has 4 grams of carbs. Okay, so like if I'm eating 5 servings of 1 ounce of peanuts a day, that's like 20 grams of carbs coming just from the peanuts. Okay, it's not that bad, okay? But you have to keep, on the steak and eggs diet or any similar diet, you have to keep your carbs really low. You have to keep them under 50 grams, probably under 30 grams, especially if you're a small person that weighs 120 pounds. So, you know, like I said, you could use nuts. Almonds have very similar macros to peanuts. You could use nuts to add calories and fat to your diet, but you have to be careful because you have to make sure you count every single gram of carbs you take in. You can't just like grab a handful. I literally measure out the, like on a scale, literally measure out 1 ounce or 28 grams of peanuts when I eat them. And I did the same thing when I was eating almonds, okay? And similarly, what you could do is you could use peanut butter or almond butter or hummus, okay? For instance, natural peanut butter. 2 tablespoons is 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, 7 grams of protein, very dangerous, 8 grams of carbs. So like I said, it's really dangerous. When I was kind of like getting off of my anaerobics diet, where I ate some carbs, okay, before and after I worked out, but it was, I try to keep the carbs low in general. I would do things like that. I would take like a chicken breast, and instead of cutting it up to, to fry it in a pan, I'd either fry it as a actual chicken breast whole, or I would, cook it on a George Foreman grill or whatever. And then I'd throw it on a plate, and I'd mix on like a couple tablespoons of butter. Sorry, not butter, almond butter or peanut butter or hummus. Okay, I would add some of that to it. Like I said, I mean, it's not when you're in a really trying to get lean, because you have to be careful about how many carbs you're taking in, but that's another way to do it. It adds some taste, it adds some flavor. If the chicken breast is on the George Foreman, it's going to be dry as hell, so that adds a little bit more moisture, and it just tastes good. So like I said, those are certain ways that you can do it. If you're going to go with the oil, if you're going to go with the butter, coconut oil, anything like that, that's fine. You don't have to worry about it because it's pure fat. If you're going to go with peanuts, almonds, peanut butter, almond butter, or hummus, you really need to be careful that you don't take in too many carbohydrates.